Hi, this is Dennis Doss from DossDocs. Today we're going to do a set of loan docs. First thing you want to do is get your ducks lined up. By that I mean first thing I'd want to get is my preliminary report. Here's an example of a preliminary report, a very old one. What do you get from a preliminary report? You get the vesting of the borrower right here. You get the legal description here, and you get the APN number. You're also going to get exceptions. This is your Schedule B. This is property tax exceptions. And these are the other exceptions. This particular property had a loan on it of $211,250. So if we're going to be paying that off, we need this information, the amount, the mortgage company, etc. So the prelim, and then it looks like there's some other stuff here that we need to deal with in our loan documents. So the preliminary report is the first place you start. It gives you a lot of good information. So you want to keep that open, and you can cut and paste from it. You can, for instance, you can might want to correct typos as you go along, because this one says a single woman, probably means single woman, and there's a period missing there after Y. So after you correct those two things, but you can cut and paste, for instance, the legal description using your mouse and the APN number. All right, close that. You also want to get your application. So here's a business purpose, a commercial loan application. It gives you the name of the borrower, a lot of, addresses, information. Some of this you'll need for your loan documents. So you want to keep that handy. If your borrower is an entity, you're going to want to get a copy of the operating agreement. What does this tell you? It tells you who the manager is, if it's member managed. It shows you, whether it's how it's managed by the members or by a manager, the name of the manager. Also, it gives you a clue to whether certain consents are required. Are members required to consent to financing transactions, things of that kind. It also gives you, I wouldn't borrow the name from this. I've seen many operating agreements that have the wrong name up here. So there's better tools for that. Namely, you want to go to the Secretary of State and pull a statement of identity and questionnaire. I pulled this one out randomly. It was filed last year by some company. What does this tell you? It gives you the exact corporate name right here. That's critical. It also gives you some addresses, the principal street address. Also very important because it gives you the name of the managers. This one has one manager. Her name is Ritu Berry, and she lives at the same address of the company. If this is different than what the borrower is telling you, then you've got an issue you need to resolve. This should match the operating agreement, should match your documents, all three of them. So if this isn't current, you should get them to file a new one so you have it. The last thing you're going to need, or the other thing you're going to need is a term sheet or a letter of intent. What does this give you? It gives you, make sure you've got the right collateral, the loan amount, the interest rate, interest only, lien position, whether there's a guaranteed interest period, fees and the like. So you need a term sheet of some kind, otherwise you're kind of shooting in the dark. So with that said, let's get started. First of all, you go to DossDocs.com and you select your state. I'm going to select California for our doc order. So here's the packages that are available to you for California at this point. We've got the business purpose loan docs. These are the investor packages. It produces up to 10 different files for up to 10 investors per loan. We have a construction doc set and the loan modification and extension agreement, which is pretty cool. It produces a extension agreement and as well as a modification notification that gets filed, recorded in the county recorder's office. So to start, you order docs and fill in your name. And here you go. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the workflow. Two things I want you to do first before we start. One is sign in. Why? Because if you sign in, you'll be able to see your saved workflows like this. There's two different ways to save a workflow. One is to save an email link to yourself. And so you can see my workflows that I've got. You could open up any one of these that you've worked on. They're in reverse order. This is the oldest to the youngest. And so you can always come back no matter where you're at or whether your computer dies or whatever, you can do that. Second thing is on your computer, there is an auto fill feature. If you go into your settings in Word, you can actually change those settings. So anything that is repetitive, like for instance, this information here about my name, will automatically populate. So for instance, your company name will automatically populate when you hit the first letter. Your computer will recognize that. So with that said, we are going to complete a set of documents and I'm going to time how long it takes to do it. So now, all right, what is your name? Computer knows that. Dennis Doss, Doss Law LLP, Dennis at DossLaw.com. Come on back here. Where's the collateral located? Collateral is located in California. This is a single lend, actually a multi-lender loan. It's residential. Lender name is not me. It is C Exhibit B. So we're going to have a list of private investors. This is a multi-lender loan. You'll create your own Exhibit B. Lender, I mean, there's a form for it, but then you got to fill it out because we found that kind of it's a last minute thing. People moving in and out of these loans, and so it's impossible. You don't want to redraw the documents every time you have a change of investors. So you can just type a very simple Exhibit B. I'm going to go over and pull this information for lender address, paste it. Lender representative is Jill Dawson. Her title is lender's agent. So we're on. Okay, so here's page 2. There's a reminder here to save a link to avoid re-inputting everything later. If you've opened an account, your workflows will all show right here. Or you can save a link. We're going to do that. I'll put my email address in here. And it will then email me a link to my workflow. So ask whether there's a broker in the transaction. Answer is yes. So if you hit no, all this stuff disappears. But if you hit yes, then it starts populating. Our broker's name is Dawson Finance. Broker is licensed. It's a California DRE broker. Its main office number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Broker address is Costa Mesa. Now this stuff will automatically auto-populate if you set your word writings right, your word program right. Jill Dawson, lender's agent, broker salesperson's license number, broker email. Is there a co-broker? Is there a co-broker? No. Continue. Property information. All right, first thing once is the address. You can pull that off your prelim. County, Orange. It's a single family residential. Legal description, pop that right in here off the prelim. APN number, again, we get that off our prelim. All right, is the property owner occupied? No. Is there a second piece of collateral? No, it's a single piece of collateral this time. But if you hit yes, it's going to ask you a lot of questions about that. Title company, we're using big title. Don't want to be accused of having any favorites here. We have Bob Officer as our title rep. Prelim number. You need that, get that off your prelim. It's another good piece of information. You can cut and paste that right over. Prelim date, call it January 2, 2022. Endorsements, we're going to go for access and entry, location, and I think that's it on this one. If there's any endorsements you want that aren't listed in this list, just pop it in here. Unacceptable Schedule B items are things you do not want to show on your final title policy. These are exceptions, we call them. So you can pop those right in here. I want the taxes to be current. I want to pay off that mortgage we saw. Closing instructions. If you have any additional exceptions, you can put them right in here. Insurance coverage, you've got a choice of 3. I'm going to go right in the middle, 115. Okay, borrower name. Our borrower is a flipper. Fast Renovators, it's an entity. Now, when I put the entity name here, I'm not going to put a California corporation. There is a place to do that that'll populate the deed of trust with that information in the note. But for now, we're just going to call it by its short name without the handle on it. It is a corporation. And of course, if you answered no, all this stuff disappears. It is an entity. Does it have a general partner, manager, or trustee? First signer name is Jim Smith. He is the president. And we've got every conceivable possible title you can think of here. We have second signer's name is Sally Smith. She is the secretary. There is no co-borrower. Exact vesting you want to see. So this is where you put in Fast Renovators, same address. We're not going to do environmental indemnity on a residential property. I think that's overkill. Okay, our next page is escrow data. We're halfway through already, guys. Is the title company handling the escrow? Yes. So that eliminates a lot of questions. Watch when you hit no. So it's not going to put you through questions you don't have to answer. Escrow closing deadline, we want this closed by February 28, 2022. Escrow officer is, Bob Officer is going to handle that as well. Contact person, okay, this is your person who's going to be calling the shots. You're going to actually be the representative of the lender. And here it's going to be Jill Dawson. If you have any special closing instructions, you put it here. I mean, the instructions already cover fire insurance, paying off the liens, getting title policy, etc. But if you've got something else like hold until there's a confirmed appraisal or something like that, you'd put it in here. Loan number, DL 00001. Document date, we're going to do today, February 9, 2022. Is this a line of credit? No, the system will accommodate that. What's our loan amount? Okay, loan amount is $500,000. I don't need to put commas or periods or dollar signs. Now I need to spell it out. Don't need to put the word dollar amount. Terms 12 months. Interest rate 10. Interest rate will not adjust. Payment address is Dawson Finance. 45. We want the trustee to go to the same place when it is recorded. This goes up in the upper left-hand side of the trustee. Dawson Finance. I'm going to do this so it populates that way. Is loan interest only? Yes. Payment start date is going to be April 1, 2022. Initial payment amount 4166.67. Number of payments, initial payments 11. 11 and a balloon. Is there a second series? No. Is there a balloon payment? Yes. Balloon payment amount would be 50416.67. Maturity date, well, if it closes in February, it's going to be March 1, 2023. Default rate add-on is 6. I pulled that number out of thin air. Grace period, typically 10 days. Late charge percentage, 10 days. Insurance vesting. I want to put care of Dawson Finance. Can the loan be extended? Yes. Number of extensions, we're going to give them 1 extension for 3 months. We're going to charge a fee of $5,000. And these are summary of conditions of the extension. There's a large paragraph that, or at least a paragraph that goes with each one of these. So we're going to put no adverse change in value, extension agreement. We're not going to require extension agreement, no junior liens, and property taxes and insurance required. We're not going to require financials. But if you've got some other ones you want to insert, put them in here. If there's a guaranteed interest period, we're going to say yes, 6 months. Total potential guaranteed interest, that's $25,000. That's 6 months payments. Does the loan have a prepayment penalty? No. Does it have an interest reserve? No. Capital reserve for future improvements. Debt service reserve? No. There's no holdbacks. There's no impounds. If you have anything else you want to add to the note that's not in our note, which would surprise me, go ahead and put it in here. If you have any addenda you wish to attach to the note, or you got any of your special clauses you want to put in there, go ahead. Same thing with the loan agreement and the security agreement. Security agreement, loan agreement, note. Any addenda to your deed of trust, you got a chance to add an addenda to your note, an addenda to your deed of trust. This is going to be a first trust deed. Is there currently a first lien on the property? Yes. There's a Bank of America lien on there, 200,000. Will it remain? No. There's no other liens. Just ask if your loan is going to be a junior loan, which is this was not. Do you want to create the system to create an authorization to send to that senior lien holder to give you access to the information? Gives me information about the senior lien. Minimum debt service coverage ratio covenant. No. All right. Moving on. Fee data. Is a lender charging fees? No. The private embeddings are not. Under tax service, we're not going to charge that. We're not going to charge flood cert. Brokers receiving a $10,000 commission. Processing fee, $495. Underwriting fee, $395. Broker doc prep is going to charge $399. No appraisal fee, credit report, these other fees, but there's lots of other possibilities. Notary, other fee names. So if you've got a fee that I don't have a name for, put it right here and put an amount on it. Doc prep fee to others, no. Anything paid outside of escrow, you could, if an appraisal was paid, you could put it here. There's no co-broker and there's no referral fee. So just see, we're almost there. Would debts be paid off the proceeds of this loan? Bank of America, $687. Escrow fees, $650. Notary fees, mobile notaries, $250 these days. Recording fees, let's say $385. We're not going to do tax service. Loan be made with broker-controlled funds. You need to answer this if the broker is going to put any money into the deal. In this case, no. Trustee name for deed of trust. I'll plug my buddies at FCI for the trustee name. Then you've got our terms of service, all very reasonable. You click yes, continue. I'm going to pause while I put this information in, and there you go. Payments being processed, and you get this summary. Now you could print this out. You can, it's kind of good because you could open up any one of these items. Let's say you made a mistake on this address. Open it up. It'd take you right back there, and you can correct the address. You got to scroll down to it and find it. There it is. So you correct it, and it takes you right back to the summary. So when you get your final docs, and if you see a mistake or you miss a fee or the deal changes on you, you've either got the saved workflow option or you've got the link that was emailed to you to go with. Then we hit continue. It takes about a minute or so to generate the documents internally, and you get this message on your screen. And just open it up, have a look. So here's our loan number, property address. This is going to be a multi-lender deal, so we're going to expect to see a Exhibit B. This is broker arranged. This Jill Dawson is the agent for Dawson Finance Company. Her license information is here. Here's the borrower data, the property data. Got guarantors. Existing lien information is here. Title data. Offer prelim, exceptions, endorsements. Escrow company's a title company's going to handle the escrow. You got a $500,000 loan, 12%, 10%, 12 months, monthly payment, balloon payment. All that's laid out real well here. Fee data, one extension of 3 months, 5,000, and there's the summary of the conditions. Then you see the funding instructions. The first thing that escrow company is going to want to look for, the title company. This will only populate what you use. For instance, if this was an individual borrower, the entity authority would come out. You wouldn't see it at all, this piece here. If it was owner occupied, this would come out. And of course, it will generate the correct mortgage loan disclosure statement for your situation. 882 for commercial and everything else besides residential interest only, which is the 885 form. And if you're out of state, it'll generate a multi-state form. It's got all the information that the title company needs to record the loan, pay off Bank of America. Here's our fees. There's our fire insurance endorsement, should be in that name. Here's our contact person, contact Jill, scan the documents to Jill before you fund. Here's our signatures. See how I completed these corporate signatures just beautifully. Mortgage loan disclosure statement. Program does all the math for you. All of this stuff is computed correctly, and it starts with the rest of the MLDS. Pays off Bank of America. Here's a declaration of oral disclosure, which prints in the case of broker arranged loans, California broker arranged loans, Patriot Act, loan of security. This is the loan agreement. Quite comprehensive. And here's the Exhibit B. So you just take this piece of paper and you type in the name neatly or create your own Exhibit B with the names of the investors. It should end with comma as tenants in common, and whether it's fraction or decimals, it needs to add up to 100% or 1 in the case of fractions. Here's our promissory note. Payment schedule is very clearly laid out to the borrower. Payment address, extensions. So here it populates these extensions with a little bit more text. Late charge, guaranteed interest, some necessary language. Our default rate here is 6%. We make them initial it. So you can't say they wasn't discussed or talked about. Let's see what else we got. We got deed of trust. We put Dawson Finance as a place where it comes back to. This is the residential deed of trust form for California. Notice it's got PACE and HERO restrictions on it, which you need in our state because otherwise it can prime your loan. So that's included automatically. Notary pages are there. Here's your Exhibit A, your legal description. Got the property address, APN, and the legal description. Balloon payment disclosure. This does have a balloon payment. Hazard insurance disclosure. Here's our guarantee. Our guarantees are quite comprehensive because you want them to be. And we require that they be notarized, so you don't get any fight over I didn't sign it kind of thing. Then here's a corporate minutes, Fast Renovators Inc. Commercial arbitration agreement, business purpose certificate, non-occupancy certificate, fair lending notice, and compliance agreement, notice the right to receive a copy of the appraisal, privacy policies, anti-money laundering declaration. So that's it. I figured that took us about somewhere between 15 and 17 minutes to generate those documents. Of course, after you review them, if you discover any mistakes, either go back to the emailed link that you sent yourself or go back to your workflow listing and open up that one and make the correction and regenerate. It doesn't charge you again. There's no extra fee. So anyway, enjoy them. If you see any glitches in our docs, let us know. We will fix them. If you need them customized and you're either a California client or the collateral's in California, contact DossLaw. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.